YWCA because their vision and mission statement, which is transforming the lives of marginalized and disadvantaged women and girls in Toronto, directly correlated with my mission and what I really wanted to accomplish. In the next couple of clips, you're going to see and actually hear a real-life story of a woman that I interviewed at the shelter, and she was kind enough to share her story with us. Now, it is a real story, so I would really respect if you just listen to her, and this is what inspired me to take action.
It's quite a terrible thing to admit that you have been in 2 abusive relationships, although calling them relationships in the first place is what broke me. In both relationships, I wanted love so badly that I denied all signs right from the beginning. I was a 15-year-old depressed girl with family problems. I had weak health, very low self-esteem, and seemed to be wearing an abuse me sticker, or that's what it felt like at least. Right from the beginning, I knew something was wrong, but my intuition was silenced by the hunger for love I had. I knew I wasn't happy, but I didn't realize that the source for my happiness was right next to me, and that I was calling it love. He would assault me physically and verbally. He would stop me from eating at restaurants because he said I had bad table manners. He used to scold me in front of everyone. The worst physical assault is when he grasped my hand so tightly that I lost all circulation. He continued by strangling me and pushing me against a wall, then taking advantage of me and said that I deserved it because I made him angry earlier. It was 2 years after that when our relationship started to break. 2 more years of pain that I silenced and took because he made me believe that he was my superior and that my world really did revolve around him. When our relationship ended, I assumed that I was not worth him, although it gave me a certain light, because the pain didn't feel unbearable anymore. Little did I know it happened again years later when I once again was in a dark place. This relation was quite like the last, but was more emotional because he called me names and always compared me to other women. He often said, "Why can't you be more like them? You need to change this or fix that." There was always something that I needed to do, and there was nothing I could do to be perfect. I once again got out of the relationship after 6 months and later got diagnosed with PTSD. This woman's shelter helped me develop to become a stronger and gain confidence that I lost while growing up. My confidence now is the greatest thing that I take pride in because it is the biggest impact that the YWCA has had on my life. My advice to others is to listen to your instincts because it is better to be embarrassed once than to suffer and be silent for several years. Getting help can simply be telling your friend or family member or even coming to a shelter. There's so many people that can help and that will not judge you, but help build and empower you.
Stories like these inspired me to take action and ask people my inquiry question, which is, why do you think violence against women is still happening in today's society? And along with these next few clips, you'll see me and what I really did to help out my women's shelter as well.
I think violence against women is still happening in today's modern society because there's still this perpetuated idea that you need this significant other, you need this boyfriend, you need this girlfriend. So much so that some people would forgive some things like violence or aggression or even something as traumatic as abuse just so they can keep this significant other because they feel that they can't get another one or a better one. This is the best they can get, which is really sad. But because society, through their advertisements, through TV shows, through Instagram posts, I mean, we've been saturated with it since we're young kids, that you need to grow up, you need to get married, you need to have a house, and when you're a teenager in high school, you should have a boyfriend, and when you're in college, you should be in a long-term relationship, and all of this stuff, which is totally not true, though we grow up thinking, well, that's the normal, that's the usual, so it doesn't matter if my boyfriend or girlfriend may be a bit abusive or violent. you know, as long as I have one. That type of thing. And the funny thing is, I think the men/women who are usually the violent ones in the relationship, I think they know this. This is why some of them feel like they can get away with it. And I think that's why it's still happening in today's society.
I think that violence against women has been a major issue throughout history and continues to occur in today's modern society as well. One of the main reasons I think that is behind this issue is definitely inequality. In many families or households, women face the pressure of having to live up to certain expectations, do certain jobs that men don't have to do but women are meant to do. And when they don't, and when they voice their opinion or thought, and when they, for example, want to receive education or want to go to a certain job that their family members aren't exactly pleased of, they get mistreated and specifically violently treated so that they can be controlled and put back into their place. This is an issue only women face, and I simply think it's because they are women, and men don't exactly face these sort of issues. Many women don't speak of how they are treated badly or violently by their husbands or family members because of the fright and low confidence level that has built within them after being treated harshly over several years. Overall, I think that the issue of violence against women continues to grow even in today's modern society, and I strongly believe that women should be able to pursue the life they are willing to without having the fright of being abused or violently treated by family members or even society.
So I think women's violence is happening in 2018 because there's still a lot of isms that we have in our society floating around within our structures of power and whatnot, and all of these harmful stereotypes of women being weak or less or not as valuable as men are still here, and they're still quite relevant and prevalent in a lot of societies. Additionally, there are always people who want to look stronger, who want to feel like they're more than what they are because they're too insecure to stand on their own feet, or perhaps other pressures such as like their own home life. And all of these factors combined, and along with the stereotype and the idea that women are weak and can be pushed around, probably explain why women's violence does still happen, and it does apply to almost all sorts of violence, but women's violence these days is the most prevalent, especially since we're opening the conversation more with the whole Me Too movement and whatnot. When people are in a position of power, it's very easy to let that power get to you and to abuse it in certain ways to make yourself feel bigger. And I feel like the need to feel like you're more than your insecurities let you is one of the major contributors to women's violence in 2018.
I think that violence against women is still happening because from past to now, women are always seen as the weak one, where that we can be easily picked on. This is why men often tend to just pick on us. I think that this can be changed by raising awareness for this problem and getting more people to support women's right in the society.
Hey everyone, it's October the 28th, and these are all the jackets I have so far. I'm just going to We have 17 jackets so far, and it's only been 2 weeks into the campaign, so I'm pretty impressed, and I hope this keeps going. Guys, it's the morning of the 4th, and these are the jackets I've got in. It's been a month now into the campaign, so let's start counting. 24 jackets plus the 17 jackets I had last time. It's a month into the campaign. We're almost there to our goal. Let's keep it up. Everyone, it's the morning of the 13th, and it's time to start counting all of these jackets to see if we can keep 60 more women warm this winter. Morning of November 13th, and it's the day I'm going to go to the shelter and donate all these jackets to the women. Now, we just counted it, and I have a total of almost 80 jackets, which exceeds my goal by 20, and I'm really proud that I actually did this, And thank you for all of you that donated. Hello everyone, I'm here with the worker of the shelter and I'm just going to ask her a few questions. So the first question is, why is domestic violence against women still taking place in today's modern society?
I believe it might be a cultural thing. For many, many years, the world was dominated by men, and they had the power to do whatever they want, and women were under men's power, so they still think they... But also, I think it's also human. If someone wants to shut up someone or is not pleasant, they just react in a very rational way, but still some humans can do that.
Is there a certain time of year where the shelter tends to be like fuller compared to other times?
The shelter dynamics has been changing lately. However, I think winter time we get more overcrowd because it's too cold. People will rather be at a safety place than in the streets.
So because of that, like how will the donation of the jackets that I donated help?
It was really, really helpful because we were in the middle of winter. The majority of the women, some of them were fleeing abuse, some of them they were living on the street, they don't have a place to keep their clothes, so they don't have too many things to wear. Giving us the winter jackets was amazing, really good.
In your personal opinion, what is the biggest challenge that is faced at the shelter?
There are many problems, but in my opinion, one of the biggest one is when you are sharing a space with someone else. It's never easy. It's not sometimes easy with our own family. Imagine when you are with someone that you don't know from anywhere. When you are with someone who thinks differently from you, who behaves differently. So sharing space is one of the most complicated things. And when you are sharing a room, it's much complicated.
Do they sleep there like overnight?
They sleep overnight, they can stay during the days, depending on each shelter. In the shelter I work, they can stay the whole day there, even though we try to have them in programs, so they keep themselves very busy in developing their skills and other things.
What is the biggest challenge you have had to overcome while working at the shelter?
I think at the shelter sometimes we need to be very careful with everything we say because we can be misunderstanding sometimes. Misunderstood can come up. So I think language can be sometimes a challenge.
Does the shelter often receive generous donations?
Not that often, but we do receive.
In what ways will the money donated help out women in the shelter?
The money will be used to purchase underwear. As I said, they come from the streets. They don't have place in the street to wash their clothes, and sometimes when they come up, there is no underwear and pajamas as well. So all the money we will use it for that.
Okay. What do you think needs to be done to raise awareness and stop violence against women?
I think we need to talk more about it, and sometimes we just do it at International Women's Day, unfortunately. That is point number one. Number two is the media. The media can help us from that, and we don't talk about this very often. You go to advertising on TV, and there is nothing about that. Once in a while, at the news, it comes out what happened, and that's it. So I think they should show at the news images of women who are being abused. It will be so shocking that people will start thinking and stopping that. It will bring awareness, and we are not doing that, not yet.
Okay.
And in Canada, just in the month of January, just in Ontario, not in Canada, just in Ontario, 5 women were killed by their partners or husbands, just in a month. We lost 5 people. It's really concerning.
This project has allowed me to gain experience and understand different people's perspective on why this is still an issue and what we can actually do about this issue. Hearing the different women's story has really inspired me, and this project allowed me to do something that I've always wanted to do, which is help women in need. And I think I will be continuing this even after the project is over because of how inspired I am and passionate I am about this issue. I'd like to thank the YWCA for supporting me and allowing me to complete this project, as well as everyone who made this project happen. Thank you for my mom for always supporting me and helping me get the jackets and the bake sale, and everyone who helped with the bake sale. Thank you for contributing, and I hope you learned a lot from this documentary, and I hope you will take action too. Ladies First campaign.